And we are live. Hey. We back. Yeah. I gotta get better with this DJ shit. What's going on, world? How y'all doing? Haven't seen his face in a minute. Once again, this is Tully. How y'all doing, world? Welcome to another installment with the pod with no name. New name coming. We'll see. I don't know. It depends on how I'm feeling. But yeah, man, haven't seen us in a while. You know, took a little vacay, but looking to get started with all of this and get back. As you can see, we got a new setup going on, so we just trying some things. Gonna be switching things in and out, seeing what's going on, seeing how things are working. But without further ado, we're gonna jump right in. So today we're talking about a touchy subject, and that subject is guns. And so when thinking about it, I was like, well, you know, I got my brother that's heavily into the 2A community, and he's got a lot of things going on. So I think that it will be most appropriate to just bring him on and have him discuss some things. And, you know, it's around election time, so we're going to have a discussion. So without further ado, just wanted to introduce my brother, James. How you doing, James?
I'm doing well, brother.
You good?
Let me slide back around here one more time.
Right.
You know, and it's the ultimate sign of respect to give you a handshake in the middle of coronavirus. I
know,
brother.
Right? Yeah, I got the hand sanitizer and some wet wipes over here too. If you
no
need
problem. And real quick before we start this thing off, I love you, brother. You know what I'm saying?
I
this
appreciate
is two black men together, and it's very important for other black men, you know, for us to communicate affectionately with our brothers. You know what I'm saying? So. You know, I'm all about community, and that's part of it, man. Words of affirmation, man.
That's a fact.
So one love, brother.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you, bro. But yeah, man, as you can see, we also got our fatigues on. So I just wanted to allow James to just have an introduction of who he is, what he's doing. So he just recently started a company, and it's called Bear Arms Academy. You know what I mean? We're going to try to bring that up on the screen so everybody can see it. We'll put up the Instagram and everything in the contacts, and the captions and stuff. But yeah, I just wanted to throw the platform to you for a second and have you discuss a little bit about your business.
Yes. So the Bear Arms Academy is actually it was an idea that I had. You know, I go to the range a lot. I'm actually prior service, Army, served 8 years, and I did a lot of training while I was in there. And I actually had, you know, an affinity and passion for guns even before then.
Oh, okay.
You know, we ain't gonna go too deep into that.
Right.
But I've always loved firearms, and you know, again, so I got a lot of training, and then once I got out, I continued that love and passion, and I go to the range a lot, you know, such as, you know, linking up with brothers like yourself to go to the range. And I'm always, you know, because I have such, you know, so much training and everything with weapons.
Right.
Every time I go to the range, I always, you know, ended up giving instructions to all my friends and stuff like that. It happened consecutively.
Right.
And you know, while I was in the Black Man's Country Club one day, aka the barbershop.
Right.
You know, since we can't get in there, you know, it's all good.
Yeah, that's why I got the Scully on. With the blaze orange, you know what I mean? But yeah,
that's all good. No, but I actually I was chopping it up with my barber, and we, you know, he's another 2A guy, and then I had the idea to start, you know, a firearms company.
Right.
So I started the Bear Arms Academy. Again, you can follow us on Instagram. It's a new startup, so we're still working on our website and everything to get things squared away, but we do have our Instagram page. Then you can follow until then, and we are a U.S. based carry conceal weapon permit and firearms training company. So we promote firearms training, and we also conduct you know, CCW and all that stuff, and we'll get into some of that stuff later, I'm sure. And we're also doing you know, a lot of the self-reliant stuff, like, you know, first aid and CPR services, because my company, I wanted to base it around saving lives.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what's up. See, so when you first told me about it, it sounded like it was like the one-stop shop. So you could basically come learn about firearms, which is heavily needed now throughout the pandemic, everything that's going on with, you know, politics that we'll discuss later. Also, you're able to learn like CPR. So overall, just having that life skill management is impressive, and I'm actually like really proud. You know
I appreciate
what I mean? Like,
that, man.
I think that's dope. You know what I mean? To be even starting a business. We're gonna talk about black businesses and everything in the future. That's for another time. But I think that's really dope that you out here doing that. And yeah, man, I definitely want to see, you keep moving forward. But the question that I would ask is like, what would you say if you had to say was the main benefit of the business? What would you say that is?
I think the main benefit, okay, so that question is twofold. I think the main benefit is learning firearm safety.
Right.
And actually getting an education about firearms.
Right.
The thing is, firearms are negatively viewed through the public domain. Especially in our country.
Depending on where you come from. Like, I'm from Brooklyn, so New York, New York City ain't no guns, but
yeah.
Even growing up, had a negative connotation attached to it, so.
Yeah, and then also, again, me being Black American, guns have been a big part of our liberation. So, you'll get to learn, we'll get to go into, you'll learn your history as a Black American. And for those of you, of our brothers and sisters from the motherland and from Africa and from the Caribbean and stuff, you can also learn our plight and understand why our country is dope the way that it is. You know what I'm saying? It's not perfect. It's not perfect, but there's we welcome our brothers and sisters. Being a descendants of slaves, right. Guns have been a big part of our liberation, and it's the reason why we are where we are right now in the world in terms of the Black community in America is concerned. Which we are at the forefront of a lot of different, especially economically and all of that stuff. But long story short, guns have been a big part of our liberation, and so we all need to understand how we got to this point. So I think that those are just a few benefits. And of course, CPR. Right.
It's definitely a skill that people need to know.
Absolutely. So life skills and firearm safety.
Right.
Which we could talk about,
definitely.
Firearm safety. I know a lot of people at high school. I think that we have, in the country per year, it's like 500 or some total fatalities from firearm accidents.
Right.
So a lot of this stuff could be prevented. Exactly. And then that's not even to mention people that shoot themselves on accident and don't die, Lil Wayne.
Well, he was a kid, but poor firearms management, firearm safety,
But we see kids from other communities that when he shot himself that at that age, he was like 12, the other kids from other communities that know how to operate firearms efficiently. Yeah. We were at the range earlier and we saw them, So, that's a fact. Our kids, it's cool to know the new dance and stuff like that, but we also need to know about firearms because the thing is, a firearm is like a fire extinguisher.
Right.
Nobody buys a fire extinguisher and says, "I can't wait to use this fire extinguisher." Right, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but you have one in your home.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You'd rather have it and not need it.
Right.
It's just it's a tool. That's all it is at the end of the day. Word. The person operating behind it. That's a second story, but it's a tool. That's just like so think of guns like a fire extinguisher.
Word. So I'll talk a little bit about my experience with this. So for me, I wanted to own a gun for a while now. And so I remember being 26, I'm 30 now, and I came and I went down to the Metropolitan Police Department in DC.
Okay.
And basically I asked for, all the documentation to get it started. They handed me a stack of information and it was just an overload. And so I just never went back to it. So up until last year, I was like, all right, I'm going to go. So I'm actually make this stuff happen. And so I went to the a gun store in Maryland somewhere, and basically was trying to ask about information. And they told me that all you have to do is purchase the firearm. And then once you purchase the firearm, because I live in DC, they would just transfer it in, and then that's how you can get the paperwork started.
Okay.
So by me knowing that, I was like, okay, cool. I was getting some quotes, and then coronavirus transpired, and then I was like, all right, I need to actually up and make this happen. So I was like, all right, I'm a new gun owner, you know what I mean? And now I own 2 handguns. I own a Glock 48 and a Sig Sauer P320.
Great pistols.
Yo, I love them. But yeah, what guns do you own?
I actually own a Smith & Wesson 9mm M&P. Military M&P stands for military and police. Great pistols. I also own a Ruger. It's a little small 380. 380. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and really, by the way, both of mine are chambered and or calibered in 9mm. So. Yep.
Yeah. I also own a 1911, which is my pride and joy. That is the
pretty.
That thing is destroyed in a lot of Nazis. Won a lot of wars. That was actually a service pistol in, I believe, World War I and World War II. Killed a lot of Nazis. Again, it was an officer issued, I believe. So that pistol, classic. I love that thing. It's amazing. It's wow.
Yeah,
I'm getting teary-eyed talking about it.
You want to show them?
Yeah, we can show them. And by the way, we have our before I set them out here.
Right.
I have our Bill of Rights right here. And we also have a little small version of the United States Constitution. You were talking about some of the different things, the paperwork and all of that stuff to get your weapon. That's something else that the Bear Arms Academy, another service that we want to provide is basically, walking people through the process, because you have to abide by the laws of the land.
Of the land you live in, yeah.
Of your land you live in.
And the land that you're in.
Yes, because it's based off a few things. Each state is different. You have constitutional carry. You have, basically states where you don't need a permit at all.
Right.
Every state is different.
Right.
Like Arizona, you don't need a permit at all. Louisiana is one, I believe.
I didn't know that. I might have to move to Arizona.
And then, so yeah, every state is different. Yeah. But so that's a service that we want to provide of educating. And it's even in Northern Virginia, it's based on county as well. So
right. Yeah. Okay, that's what's up. So yeah, man. I don't mind showing mine. We definitely did a pre-check before we got started, but we're also gonna, make sure, once again, firearm safety. So we're gonna make sure that. Yeah. You
want to go first?
Yeah, I'll pull mine out.
Go ahead.
So
we got the matching BDU pattern on right now, taking it back to the Gulf War.
So
I'm gonna
right
slide
now,
mine off.
It's 4 main rules of firearm safety. Point the firearm in a safe direction. Don't pull it out if you intend to use it. If you don't intend to use it. But yeah, just want to make sure that this is good to go. So this is my Glock 48. This was my first handgun that I purchased. And I really love this, man. I've been practicing on it for a few months. I purchased my first firearm in June, right before my 30th birthday. So this is that I have right here. Just want to show that. It's definitely empty. We checked it. And then I'll just put this over here. And then my pride and joy, my P320, my Sig Sauer P320. Once again, just want to make sure. Yep. So this one is empty as well. But yeah, I recently purchased this one. I got this, let's say, about maybe 2 months ago in August. And I love it. It's amazing. Bought it from a gun store in Charlotte. They shipped it up, did all the processing. And also have a red dot on it for those who might be wondering. It's a Sig Sauer Romeo 1 Pro. And I still have to zero it in, but I was shooting it at the range today, so it came in pretty close out the gate. But yeah, you want to talk about yours?
Those are great quality pistols. I actually, when I first saw them, I was very proud of your selection. I love Sig Sauer. I love Glocks. You can't go wrong with Glocks.
Right.
Glock is basically the AK-47 of pistols. Very reliable. You can shoot it underwater with sand in it.
That's crazy.
Everything. It's definitely a zombie apocalypse pistol. So I actually have the first. This is the Smith & Wesson that I talked about. This thing is really, really great. You see, it's a green dot on it. Yeah. I have a light on it as well. There we go.
Yeah.
Green dot. So this thing is really a home defense weapon. I prefer this for a home defense. And this right here is actually the pride and joy. This is the 1911 right here.
This thing is nice.
This thing is very nice. So I actually love this thing. It is unloaded.
Yeah, we checked it before.
We checked everything. Yeah, everything is unloaded.
Right.
And we can also do a demonstration of proper firearm safety later as well.
Right.
But
these are into that right after this.
Yeah, and then of course, we didn't mention rifles or nothing like that.
Oh yeah, AR-15s.
Yeah,
things like that. So yeah, what type of AR-15 do you have?
So I actually have 2 AR-15s. I have the AR pistol, which I really loved. It's actually really good for close quarters, and it's really good to fire and train with as well. It's really compact, short. And then I also have a Rock River Arms AR-15, which is more It's a little front heavy.
I was about to say a little.
It's a little front heavy.
That's
You know, I
heavy.
have
I
a
was
scope on there, and you know, I always say that you should have a gun for 3 reasons, and you know, I keep the breakdown for my guns. I also have a shotgun too. I have a Mossberg 12 gauge.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
so
what's up.
I love that one too. But I would say that you know, you should have a gun for 3 reasons. You should have a gun for the protection of you and your family, your home.
Yeah.
You know, castle doctrine stuff, home
Right,
defense. You should have one to hunt with. You know, like if you're a hunter or something, you know,
Yeah.
utility, you need it for that reason. Zombie apocalypse, which we could talk about that later too. My
Right.
version of the zombie apocalypse. If you ever need to hunt with one, and get your food, and for you vegans out there, to get your food, get if you need to hunt for fertilizer, whatever you need to do.
You throwing shots?
No shots. And then last but not least, tyranny. Okay, cruel
Yeah.
government. You know, you should have it for that. It's in the Constitution.
Right.
And being black, don't say tyranny is not possible.
Right.
And the ancestors fought for us for the right for us to have guns. Shout out to Crispus Attucks, the freedom fighter. So,
But shit, man. So we got these guns out, you know, and we showing them they're dope. But in regards to gun safety, what would you say is like the main things that you need to make sure? Obviously, it's the 4 rules. I said 2 of them earlier. I think I'm blanking right now, so I'm not even about to try and fumble. But we could put them up on the screen. But we know we're gonna list the 4 rules. But like, because you always hear, hey, like we need to ban. Well, you're hearing now we need to ban guns because of this and that, and people who are like using these guns in a negative way. So I always personally felt that it's just due to poor gun management and poor gun safety. And so because you're now an instructor and you're doing everything that you're doing now, I just want to hear from you, like, what would you say is that main takeaway or a few things that is important in regards to gun safety?
Okay, so gun safety. The first rule of gun safety, the very first rule is to make sure that you point your weapon in a safe direction. Okay, so when you pick the weapon up, you want to make sure that it's going in a safe direction.
Right.
So, like, you know, don't be in the habit of pointing it at anybody and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, so make sure that well, I mean, it's twofold, and you also don't want to have your hand on the trigger.
Facts. That's number 2. Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't want to you want to actually place your hand right here.
Yep.
Okay. Your index finger. You can put it right there. If you're left-handed, you can put it on the other side. I'm a righty.
Right.
And for the purposes of this camera, they can see. So you want to have your hand right there. And then you do not want to put a loaded magazine into the weapon unless you are ready to fire.
Yep.
So that's next up. Okay. So don't put a loaded magazine in there. And then last but not least, make sure that you know, again, always keep them pointed down range if you're at the range or in a safe direction, and make sure you understand that you whatever you're firing at, what's behind that target. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to make sure that you know what you're firing at and understand what's beyond that target. Okay. So those are some of the rules right there.
Yeah.
So.
And we don't got to list it verbatim, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, you know, that's the basic gist of it.
Yeah.
First off, don't pull it out if you don't intend to use it.
No.
Don't point it at anything if you don't intend to fire at that target. Know what's at the target and beyond.
No, at the target and beyond, correct.
Yeah, and then I forgot the other one, but
we mentioned it. We mentioned it. Yeah.
So, I know a lot of my friends, like, they say things that like, oh, like, you know, you're doing all this gun shit now. Like, where is this coming from? Like, and it's been very, how can I put it? It's been an interesting experience, like, just going through all of this. And so I have my take on what it's been like for me being a black, I guess, 2A supporter, Second Amendment supporter, gun activist, gun enthusiast, whatever you want to call it. But before I go in and talk about my experience, I wanted to hear some of yours, like how, because you've been at it for a long time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I wanted to hear, like, how is it being black and then also liking guns? Because, you know, in our communities, that's not really the wave.
Well, the first thing about being black and being a 2A supporter is you deal with a lot of people that don't know their history.
Yeah.
As I said earlier, you know, guns have been a big part of black people's liberation.
Right.
Going back to Ida B. Wells, Nat Turner, you know what I'm saying? The Black Panthers.
Word.
Okay, they changed the laws in California because of the Black Panthers. They went into the state house with Ronald Reagan in there with open carry.
Yeah.
And they changed the laws. And it's
like,
funny
fuck
because
that.
conservatives actually hate California because of that very reason. So, but anyway, so you deal with a lot of people. Guns have been a big part of our liberation. Ida B. Wells, the great American philosopher, and you guys all know Ida B. Wells in Chicago. She did a lot of great work and stuff. In the 1890s, she was actually quoted as saying that guns should be in every household of every black household. And, at that time, she was also quoted as saying, talking about with interviews with her about how a lot of the black men who would get away from getting lynched, who were able to escape, is because they bared a firearm.
Right.
The very first, one of the very first domestic terrorism, or the first, recognized domestic terrorist organization in the United States is the Ku Klux Klan.
Right.
Okay, so at that time, for example, when black men got the right to vote, black women stood outside of voting polls and protected us. And we talk about protecting black women too. That's a big part of it, is teaching them how to fire, having guns and protecting them with our women with those, our mothers, our girlfriends, wives, sisters, and also empowering them with the knowledge of how to use firearms for themselves when you're not around. In Wakanda, they had guns. They had weapons in Wakanda. Knock it off, okay? This whole thing about, like that they were just like, being a freedom fighter, without any type of weapon. Like, there's nothing wrong with having a weapon for defense.
Yeah.
Also with the 2A supporter, being a black 2A supporter, that it can be a little conflicting because a lot of people have partisanship, which they support, and we don't have to agree with every single thing that our white allies agree with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I think that, again, a lot of our stuff is bipartisan. A lot of our stuff, I don't really get into that too much.
Right.
Of course, conservatives and the right wing, actually, they're the majority of the 2A community. But, we don't have to. We have a different relationship with America than no disrespect, but than our white allies and any of our other liberal allies. You know what I'm saying? We've only been free in America for 56 years.
Right.
You're not listen. If you have a mom or dad that's 56 years or older, they were born into America, and when they were born into this country when they weren't even free.
Right. When it was crazy.
And you're telling me I'm second generation freedom? And you're telling me that I got to give my weapons up?
So why do you think that? Like, I just don't understand. Like, and people watching it, like, please make sure you comment, respond. I would like to create a dialogue around this. What is the reason why guns are perceived so bad? I know we have gun violence in the black community, but I think that there's violence in every community. So I personally don't understand. Like, what is the big deal? Why is it taboo? I've had people say like, yo, you don't need a gun. Like, why would you want a gun? And, make all these accusations on what you're going to do with the gun. And it's like, no, I simply want to be a law abiding citizen, be able to protect myself. The police don't protect us. You know what I mean? Like, let's just keep it a buck.
Because people are under the illusion that their safety is somebody else's responsibility instead of their own.
I remember you telling me that. And I was like, yo, that's facts. That's a gem. Like, people are relying on other people to protect them when that's not their responsibility.
No.
When you call the cops, by the time the cops come, the situation is over. It should be being handled. Like, they coming in to do the cleanup or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So,
and then you have situations where, some of our brothers and sisters are saying that, that we need to, basically pull back resources for the police and stuff like that, which I do agree with to a certain degree.
Yeah.
But gun ownership comes with that, where we police ourselves. Well, you can't just what people think, part of my French, but this whole Zombieland 2 shit where people want to melt down their weapons in the peace medallions and just expect the world to be like, everybody doesn't think like that. Like you have to have, it's all about self-defense. For example, with the homie Bun B, you heard with his wife,
Yeah.
That with a great example of protecting black women, by the way. Bun B, the gentleman had a home invasion, and somebody had his wife at gunpoint, and Bun B heard the commotion downstairs and shot that brother in the shoulder.
Yep.
You know, he shot that dude in the shoulder, and you know, got him up out of there.
Yeah, that was dope. He could have.
Sean Taylor would be alive today probably if he had a weapon. Like they were saying, because of the altercation that took place.
Right.
There's a lot of people saying that. A lot of people in the tactical community that are saying that he might have been alive. R.I.P. Sean Taylor.
You want to go in a little bit on Sean Taylor and
Sean Tayller was a safety. R.I.P. 21. For the Washington Redskins, and he was in Miami. His home in Florida. I'm not sure if it was in Miami.
I think it was Miami.
Yeah, but he was somewhere down there, and in South Florida, and he had some young men some young misguided men, unfortunately, who broke into his home. They did a home invasion, came in his bedroom window, and one of the guys shot him in a vein in his leg, and he bled to death. But if he would have had to, I believe that he had I think that he was defending himself with like a knife or something like that, if I'm correct, or a bad knife, something like that. And he had a handheld object. He didn't have projectile like a firearm, which something like that could have saved his life.
Right.
And I believe him and his family was at the house when that happened too. So an unfortunate situation like that, you know, where you have to protect yourself. You have to protect yourself, and you have to protect your family. And I always talk about the zombie apocalypse. Can I talk about the zombie apocalypse a little bit real quick?
We're going to take a break in like 2.5 minutes. So yeah, let's just.
I'll just get this in real quick.
Word.
The zombie apocalypse, I always say, a lot of people think it's the dead coming back from coming back alive to get you. That is not the case. The zombie apocalypse is people when shit hits the fan.
Right.
You know, because I can go into that too later. You know. But when things hit the fan in society, for example, is to collapse through civil unrest, natural disaster, electronic magnetic pulse, who knows? You know, this infrastructure is really fragile. People don't realize it because there's, this is America and people are spoiled. We're a victim of our own success. But if shit hits the fan, the zombie apocalypse is basically people coming. It's not people who aren't prepared coming to get the people who are prepared's resources.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So now I wasn't prepared because I don't think like Tully, or I don't think like James, or whoever else who thinks like us, because they wasn't thinking that way. Now, hey, I'm going to. I can't go to this. It's not a guarantee that the trucks are going to run to the store tomorrow. Who knows? I can't get it. I'm going to go take it from Tully, or I'm going to go take it from whoever. And if those people aren't prepared, then they just got by the zombies.
Exactly. So I think that's going to be good. A good segue into the topic of self-sufficiency. You know what I mean? Like we covered it a little bit, but also want to talk about a little bit more like how not relying on other people for anything. You know what I mean? So we can touch on that. Take a quick break. Gonna be right back. All right. We back, man. We back. So right before we took that break, great convo, by the way, though. I appreciate you for joining me today, for real.
No doubt.
Yeah. So we spoke about self-sufficiency, right? But I really want to stress this. I know I just said it and I know I'm reiterating myself, but in the event of a crisis, you should want to be responsible for yourself. I can only speak about my experience since owning a gun. And so for me, I feel like I can protect myself. So it's not a matter of just wanting to just have it, to go to the range and it's cool. You know what I mean? It's not about that. For me, I really look at it from a self-sufficient aspect. Like, if anything really went awry, would I be able to survive? And so that was the main thing. And also it's a challenge. I like to challenge myself. So if you definitely like to push yourself and try new things, definitely give this a shot, because you'll see that it's not easy. I've been practicing for a little bit. I'm trying to get better. You know what I mean?
Well, not to interrupt you, I'm sorry, but I think that you did a good job of asking yourself that real question. If things hit the fan, would I be ready?
Right.
That's the question that a lot of people got to ask themselves. And I think that, again, we're being a victim of our own success. And a lot of black people, we depend way too much on infrastructure.
Facts.
Way too much. So I think that we, it's not a bad idea to get into the habit of, agriculture,
Yeah.
getting
And
the green
it's not
thumb.
to say that infrastructure is bad.
No,
It's
no.
just you should want. Well, I can't tell people what they should want to do, but for me personally, I want to be like the best version of myself in every way, shape, or form. So I tried, and I still got it going. Got some herbs growing in the back. You know what I mean? I want to do the hunting, try to take care of myself. I try to take care of myself in every aspect. And
Renaissance man.
yo, for real. And I just feel like a lot more liberated because of it. You know what I mean? Like I really feel like a better human being because I know that I'm able to protect me and who's with me. You know what I mean? My family, my tribe, whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? So
with self-sufficiency comes identification.
right.
So, for the people out there listening to this, there's going to be some people that say, oh, you guys are crazy.
Yeah.
That might be on one extreme that just think that like things are always going to be the way that they are.
Right.
And, even though history says that every major civilization falls, people would just disregard thousands of years of history.
Right.
But I think that, especially with the USD, that's another subject.
Yeah, we talk about that another time.
Yeah, but this ain't built on. Yeah. Anyway, so I think that where was I at? Yeah, so it's identification, identifying people who think like you.
Right.
So I had to stop arguing with people and go. I mean, I love the debates and stuff. It's fun because it's easy to like, make people like it's self-explanatory. But the thing is identifying people who look like you and decide to build alliances and build tribes.
Right.
So like, hey, when things hit the fan, I know this man right here is in my tribe. And so like now it's like, okay, so we can like train together and we can do things together. And then he has people in his tribe, like together we can, I think it's actually like tribe, clan, like when you put two families together and all that stuff, then nation. So yeah, you want to have people that think like you, and then for emergency prepared readiness, and we could build that way. Right. And if you laughed at us when things hit the fan, then don't come looking for help.
Yeah, word.
When you had ample,
pull up to the crib.
when you had all kinds of time to do this stuff for yourself, right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Which goes into like making sure that you have the proper groceries at your house,
right?
Water,
and I'm definitely
life straws.
Going to the grocery store tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or actually, since this is coming out on Monday today, you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna be at the grocery store, definitely loading up on everything, just so that I could be self-sufficient. Because you don't know what's gonna happen with this election. And I know we're about to talk about it, so we might as well jump into it. This shit is crazy. Like
crazy.
I've never seen, or maybe I was just oblivious, but I've never seen politics be so serious. Like, and I'm, how many? What, you could vote at 18, so what, 26, 22, 18. I only voted in 3 elections. Well, 2, and this is my 3rd. Yeah. So I don't have that experience like with voting. So I've never seen people this like passionate. And I'm watching videos of people fighting Trump supporters versus Biden supporters. You know what I mean? And
like Crips and Bloods.
Yo, it's crazy.
Tribal.
Yo, it's fucking crazy. But I will say about that, I think one main thing that is being discussed is the like gun ownership. And so people are saying we don't want Biden because Biden is going to take away guns. And then people are saying we want Trump because Trump is going to be good for us and all of that. I personally don't know who's going to be the better candidate, but I will say as a two-way supporter, it does seem very extreme that, you know what I mean? Like Biden and Kamala Harris are so adamant about like the rifle ban and all of this stuff. Cause I feel like if you start there, then who's to say that you can't just continue and take other stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, okay. So, and that's why I try to never be extreme on one side or the other.
Right.
I can actually see both arguments.
Right.
Okay. So, again, the history of gun control is historically racist. It goes all they want to take people's guns to basically have control over them.
And
so,
real quick,
go ahead.
Side note, I just find it funny that they trying to do all this right now. And when you look at the statistics, you can literally Google this, folks. Black people are buying guns at an alarming rate. So now you're going to tell all of these first-time gun owners that live in states where you can have rifles and automatic rifles, AR-15s, you know what I mean, all of these different type of guns, that you're going to try to create a gun ban on it. It just seems a little like suspicious, and I'm not trying to be on no like, you know what I mean, conspiracy theorist type shit, but I really feel like
gun control would affect black people disproportionately, hands down.
Right.
Since coronavirus started, and I don't want to make it seem like I'm chastising my people, because there's a paradigm shift. There's been 5 million new black gun owners since the pandemic started.
Right.
So bravo to those folks. And again, responsible, legal gun owning,
and
folks.
That's my problem.
Not illegal.
Yo,
let's make sure
this
we
shit is crazy to me. I don't claim to be the smartest person in the world or anything like that, but this shit makes no sense to me. Why would you ban guns, automatic assault, or whatever you want to call it, AR-15s? Why would you want to ban these type of weapons from legal gun owners? What's so dumb to me, and it's blatant, if a criminal wants a gun, a criminal's gonna get the gun.
Criminals are not gonna give their guns back if there's ever a buyback or something like that.
And I'm like, yo, like this is one of the like talking points. I like everything else that most of the other things that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. So I don't want to make it seem like I'm trying to bash them. I voted for Joe Biden. I understand that it's greater than me just wanting guns. It is what it is. But what I'm saying is, like, this shit don't make sense. Like, how the fuck are you going to how you going to try to ban guns? And when you realize, if I'm a criminal, I don't give a fuck about the laws anyway.
A big part of that, so a big part of that is also comes down to the education as well. To be quite frank, a lot of these politicians and a lot of people that try to like pass like the anti-gun laws don't know shit about guns.
Right.
We at the range every day. Where they at though? Right. We don't see these people. And no, to be honest, like a lot of them don't. If you started to have an in-depth conversation with them about firearms, they don't know anything about firearms.
Yeah.
And also, they are protected by people with firearms. See, the elite are protected. You see what I'm saying? Like the people, they're going to be good.
Right.
They got people around them with firearms. There's also the misnomer out there, or the false narrative out there about the AR-15. Number one, it's not an assault rifle.
Right.
It's actually the acronym stands for Armalite rifle.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, Armalite rifle. That's what it stands for, okay? It's a single action fire rifle, just like it's basically a long version of a pistol. Yeah, it has a larger rack mount magazine capacity, 30 on average, the big magazine capacities. But it still has the same mechanical function. Squeeze one time, get one round.
Right.
Machine guns. Also going back to the Armalite rifle, only 1% of people are actually killed by AR-15s.
Right.
The other 99% of people are killed with handguns. Yeah.
So then if you start there, where are you gonna go? Like,
you're gonna progress until
exactly
they take all the guns.
Right. And I just don't even see how that's gonna be possible. But that's neither here nor there.
And that there's a segment of society also that are never gonna give up their guns. That's nonsense.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what I know. Yeah. And you being in this thing. And we got other people that we talk to out there, and you see them, they are never going to give up their guns.
Yeah, if I had
There's militia groups also that's never, and if that's the thing, it's like, it's not about, we don't want confrontation. It's just about protection.
Right.
It's just about protection.
Yeah, because I feel like if I got mine and you got yours, nobody wants to actually get into a gunfight. Like,
nobody.
I never want that day to come.
There's a reason why, with people like Dylan Roof chose a church. Why a lot of times school shooters, people choose soft targets.
Right.
Mass shooters don't come to places where they know that there's going to be other people with guns to shoot back at them. I would prefer, like, let's say if my grandmother and my mother, who's an avid churchgoers, my family, I would actually prefer for my woman, if I would prefer for the women around me to have something in the clutch of their purse that they could pull out and have a fighting chance against somebody like Dylan Roof,
right.
Or somewhere where guns are permitted,
right?
You know what I mean? Or have armed security there, something which that's actually something that we had. We had the Deacons of Defense also back in the 60s when they were burning
dope.
black churches.
Yeah.
So like this whole thing, again, that's a big part of our liberation,
Right.
because they were burning down black churches. So you had the Deacons of Defense, black men who were deacons with firearms protecting those churches, because the black church has been a big part of our infrastructure, and it's the center, a pillar of our community. So
right. So
very important.
Keeping up with the topic of politics, what do you think is going to be the ramification of what do you think will happen, the impact of the 2020 election? What do you think that's going to have like on the 2A community and just like the country, like all together? Like
number one, prices are going to go up.
Right.
Right now, there's people out there, 9mm ammo right now.
Crazy.
Like you could get a box for like before the pandemic. Number one, because we're not trading with China right now the way that we would like to. The price of like ammunition has like gone way up.
Right.
And the price of weapons actually is going way up right now too. I think that the election can make it go up even more. Yeah. So I think that if you have a cool weapon and you want to sell it or something like that, or try to trade it, or you try to play it, you should probably hold on to what you have right now, because I think that the prices for everything is going to go up, and then you also want to make sure that you have a decent stockpile of ammo too.
Yeah.
Which
you were telling me like at least 500 rounds per caliber weapon you have.
That is correct. And then also 9mm ammo. 9mm is the most popular round, so
that's why it's so expensive.
You can only get one box right now if you go to like a lot of the ranges and stuff.
Although
like that.
I did find a spot, and we're gonna talk about it. That's a fact.
Yo,
for real. But I
shout out to Tully for putting me on. All these different we again. He's part of my tribe, so I get the breaking news first. He gets the breaking news first.
But yeah, I definitely I do think it's about to be spooky, and I think like because you see different states deploying the National Guard, things like that. So I just feel like it might be. I hope it's not going to be like all out chaos, but I think that we do need to just prepare ourselves, even if it's not with firearms, load up on food, water, all of those type of things, and just make sure that you're good, because the passion from both sides. Yeah,
and also we keep talking about 2A community. It is not a one-way street. Can I just give a shout out to the National African American Gun Association,
Facts.
aka NAGA?
I hate that fucking acronym though, but yeah.
I hate that too.
Yeah,
NAGA, yeah. But the National African American Gun Association, it is not just. I don't want people thinking that it's just ran. This industry is just ran by the dominant society.
Yeah,
nah. So just put that out there.
Yeah, but yeah, NAGA. Also, you conceal carry and insurance, if for those who who would potentially, like, I'm going through the process of getting my conceal carry permit. I don't know if I'm gonna want to conceal carry all the time, but I think that it's definitely like something that you should do.
Yes, absolutely. And going back to that insurance, with your concealment permit and just with your firearm, you should definitely have insurance, because in the event of an incident, it can cost you a lot of money just to defend yourself. Unfortunately, it's a big racket. Even if you are completely innocent, you still, like if you have a home invader or something like that,
right?
Because of the way the laws are, you have to have a form of insurance. You could pay anywhere between $10 to $15 a month, which is not bad at all.
Yeah,
that's actually a necessity. And there's different there's different companies out there that can provide you legal insurance. And then they also give you legal shields with cards. They give you your rights on them and stuff like that. So, the cops get there. They're probably going to detain you, but you could just have your card and then like not say anything until your lawyer gets there.
Right.
In the event of an incident.
Yeah, and I know the most popular one is USSCA.
Yes.
The United States USCCA.
USCCA.
United States
correct.
Conceal Carry
Association.
Yep. Yeah. So, and I'm thinking about it. I'm waiting for all of my paperwork to go through and everything.
Doing it the legal way.
Yeah.
Legally.
Definitely. Yeah. And if you live in a state that you can't shoot guns or own guns, just move away. Don't do it illegally, because I know in New York, I know some people that got and they went away. Automatic year for the handgun.
Rikers Island.
A year per bullet. You know what I mean? And that added up quick. If you got a 16 rounder, that's 17 years. If you got that whole full, or if you got 16 plus 1 in the chamber, you going away. You know what I mean? So it's definitely important.
Which is why I wouldn't. And honestly, you know, with for me, that would be infringement for me, because I like to have all of my law. I like to have all of the ancestors fighting for me to have all of my rights, and I want all of my rights.
Right.
I don't just want a quarter or, you know, this, that. And I want all of my rights.
That's a fact.
So, you know, you got to think about where you live too. And then shout out to our folks up in Maryland too, because, you know, it can be, laws are a little unique up there as well.
Yeah. And RIP to Blackfish Armory, man. I pulled up there the other day. It was a black-owned gun range.
Yeah.
And yeah, they just closing up shop, which is very perplexing to me. I don't understand, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah, man, I think we hit a lot of good stuff today, man. I think you know, and if people want to hear more about like this gun talk, I think that we might make this a reoccurring thing.
I talk about current events and all that stuff.
Yeah, I didn't want to go on a tangent, but you know, we could talk about different training things. Like I came from the range today, and like I was doing some training with a friend of mine. And you know, just talk about our experiences moving forward, because I'm a new gun owner. My first gun, like I said earlier, was in June. You know, I mean, that was my Glock 48. So I'm still new to this. I'm still learning. Just learned that I'm cross-side dominant, so that's like a whole nother thing. But yeah, man, just any closing remarks that you wanna?
Yeah, I would just say, you know, I had a great time coming up here chopping it up with you. Facts. You know, I'm looking forward to you know, doing it reoccurringly. And yeah, again, you know, my name is James Arrington, CEO of the Bear Arms Academy. And, you know, I look forward to doing some great things out there in the community. So
yeah, man,
I felt like, you know, I was doing it for the ancestors.
Right. And we're going to have all this information inside and everything. You know, just make sure we ain't miss nothing. You know, we spoke about disaster readiness, disaster prepared readiness, staying safe. That was one thing, too, staying safe against the militia groups, because that was a little thing that was, well, not a little thing, but something that was a little disturbing to me. Seeing people say, if Trump loses, we out here doing this and that, like, that on its own makes me say, like, hey, let's make sure that everything is in order, everything is in place, because like you said earlier, if stuff hits the fan, what are you going to do, you know?
Yeah, and I think that there's actually another great movie. See, movies are so telling, you know, people are thinking like this. Okay, so there's actually another movie called Bushwick that talks about a militia group actually occupying an urban city. They got intel that they didn't have weapons there, and they basically wanted to try to like force the United States to negotiate to relinquish different parts of leadership. If you don't think that there's groups out there that think like this, but they met resistance when they got there. So, and then I'll also say this, you know, again, you know, with the purge. Listen, I think that I keep all these movie references.
Yeah, these movies are like
my pop culture game is on point. I know I'm a little serious right now, but I love pop culture, by the way.
Yeah.
Movies and hip hop. That's another subject, you know. But I think that you know, again, when the purge alarm goes off, I'm talking about disaster prepared readiness. I think that you should have your bug out bag. We'll talk a little bit about that, maybe. Just touch on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, like, you know, you know, the purge alarm goes off.
That's not it, but close
you
enough.
at work?
I don't know.
You at work, sister? You know, brother, you at work, and that alarm goes off. You should have a bag and be like, okay, I'm ready.
Right.
In your trunk. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you can't have a firearm at work or whatever, or you know, whatever, or on the premises, that's fine. But you should at least have a bag with, like, you know, maybe a little survival kit in there that can survive, that you could last. If you have to go on foot or whatever, who knows? Right. You're gonna be good to just get to your house and then have a plan. You see what I'm saying? And like, you know, with life straws, maybe, you know, some MRE, you know, all that stuff. So a little, maybe not if you can't have a firearm on the premises, maybe some pepper spray, something. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So just have that bag and be ready to go.
Word. And so if you ain't take nothing from this episode, if you ain't take nothing, I want people to take like one main thing. That guns aren't bad. And just because you're black and you own a gun, you're not bad. All black people with guns aren't criminals.
No.
Like, we need to start abolishing that negative narrative that's associated with us. And that's another reason why, like, that's not really why I got into it, but I kind of adopted it, started taking a few friends to the range. And I've had friends, one of my bros, he was saying how, like, he was like, I've never shot a gun. Like, I'm good on that. I'm good. And he came out here for a while. And so I took him to the range, him and his buddy. And he was just like, wow, like, this was an amazing experience. And I think he might move to ATL. So if he does, he's going to look into getting a gun. You know what I mean? And I think that needs to happen, you know, because once again, no one is responsible for you except for you.
And I know people want to. I know somebody there's gonna be some Chicago in the comments. Somebody gonna say something about it. Can I just touch on Chicago?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so Chicago, cities like that where there's a lot of violence and you know, with young brothers and sisters committing violence against one another, who are completely misguided. You know, a lot of their socioeconomic needs are being ignored.
Yep.
And basically they're being used as talking points for some of that gun control and stuff like that. They're just pre-exposed, and a lot of them actually suffer from post-traumatic stress. That's another subject. Right. But they're just, they're not inherently violent or anything like that. They're just, being born, because they try to use that against us too.
Yeah.
They're just being, they've just been socially conditioned for that. And I think that, like, again, the leadership in that particular city, a lot of times, Chicago is one of the most economically divided cities in the country. You see what I'm saying? They keep all of so their need, that what they truly need. And, again, economists know this, sociologists know this. But again, when it comes to us, people act like, they just want to ignore our true issues, which is economic. But that's another completely different subject.
That would take us into a whole nother hour. You know what I mean? But before we go, I just wanted to say thank you, James. Yeah. You know what I mean? I appreciate you, brother.
Definitely, brother.
Yo, and once again, for everybody that's looking for him, go to Instagram, Bear Arms Academy. The website will be coming soon.
And Facebook.
Right, and Facebook. Also, I want to thank y'all for, it was a long hiatus, but stepping back out. Don't know how often we're going to do it. Looking for every 2 weeks or so, you know what I mean? Get back into the groove of things. But yeah, man, this has been a great talk. I want to thank you. And if you're listening to this on any DSP, make sure you share it. Let me hear your comments. If you disagree with us, then let us know. Like, yo, like, I don't like this. You know what I mean? And more conversations coming soon, various topics. But we thought that this would be very fitting because we do have the election, which is in a day or so. So
take care of yourself, whoever wins.
Right. Whoever wins. To me, it don't even matter.
It don't matter.
Exactly. Like, you just got to be
for
prepared
this topic. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to be prepared for anything. But once again, stay safe, stay blessed, stay black, people. And yeah, man, this is The Pod With No Name, and we out.
Keep it wavy. Oh, there you go. There you go. Gun save lives. Gun save lives.